All right, guys. Welcome to Salt Click channel. This is going to be embarrassing to say, but we just recorded 3 games, which weren't recorded, or they recorded like the first 30 seconds. Um, and I'm glad they weren't recorded because Sander destroyed me 3 times in a row. It wasn't even close. Maybe the last game was quite close. Um, just highlights of the games were game one, turn 0, Arsenal Warmongers, and then
Yeah.
just put pressure on me. And when I the time I could combo off, my life was so low that I couldn't survive a Warmongers. Uh, Take the damage and then Warmongers and then take the next set of damage. Uh, Game two, I think was I felt like I was in a good position, and then you drew into the Warmongers the turn before my
Yeah.
combo happened. So you didn't have it in Arsenal. You drew into the Warmongers. That happens. It's going to happen in a combo style game. And then game three, I had it ready. He had Warmongers in Arsenal. I think you had Warmongers in Arsenal from earlier.
No, no, no. Yeah. Also, yeah. The first time I had the feeling you wanted to go off, I warmongers.
Yeah,
It was funny because I actually had to block with cards and then just play warmongers. That was just it. I think you CNC and I played warmongers.
yeah. So I CNC'd. So I played Bolt of Courage, and then after the Bolt of Courage, I drew a yellow, which I needed to play CNC, um, with a Beacon of Courage, Beacon of Victory in hand. So I thought I could get all the cards out of his hands and then make him think on whether or not to play Warmongers. Um, but he did. I think that's the only option you would do because that was like turn 5 or turn 6 already. So the risk of it,
You had a lot of soul. You
yeah,
hadn't seen any of your combo pieces yet. I think maybe one.
yeah. So then he did that. I Arsenal Beacon of Victory, and then he came on with his big turn, double Art of War turn. I was at 17 life, I think, or 22 life, um,
You
and
started at
I
22.
started at
Yeah.
22. So I was, I think, 2 life short of surviving his full turn, and then going off of my two Luminas. So I blocked out his turn. His next turn wasn't so good, luckily, and I got to do a Lumina turn, or yeah, and then I got to do a Lumina turn, single Lumina, brought the game to about 6 life to 14, and then we figured out that the things weren't recording. I think you would have taken that game anyway. So 0-3 against Fai with my Cheerios Centauri Saber build. But let's get a game in now, just so people can see what it's like. And otherwise, we're just going to talk about the result. Um, so I think you said it last week, right? You said last week you're not fussed either way, whether it's Raiden or Sabers.
So what I think is that I feel like when I play into Raiden, it doesn't really matter what I do. I'm just playing an aggro deck at that point. And when I play into Sabers, I have the feeling there's a bit more control on my side as well. So I prefer playing into Sabers, not because I think it gives me a higher win rate,
Yeah,
but mostly because I think the gameplay is more interesting from my side. And if the win rate is higher or not, I'm not sure yet. I, I do think it might be not as bad as I thought it would be. I thought it would be a lot harder for me. I do think last couple games could have gone differently if single things, small things changes, like the warmongers draw or CNC at the right moment, that type of stuff. But I think in general, my game plan did come to fruition, and I think that will happen in a lot of the games that you play against Sabers.
yep,
Um, so yeah, I think it's not sure. I'm not sure which of the two I prefer to play into win rate wise. I think they both might be close.
yeah. Oh well, yeah. So for me, my win rate with Sabers against Fire, like I was saying, was 5 wins, 1 loss. So it's not many. I haven't played that much on it. And then I've played you now. I've lost 3 times, so I've gone 5-4. Um, and this is the first time I felt totally uh, like there's, as in the pressure you put on me is so much that I have to block. Okay, maybe I get a charge here and there, and then my life is just way too low for me to fight through a warmongers at that point. So the double Art of War turn. So okay, so game two, you drew the warmongers. Otherwise, I would have won because I would have double Luminate. I don't think there's anything you could have done that. My life is very high, and I don't think there's anything you could have done. Game
Yeah.
two, double Art of War also was a sorry. Game three, double Art of War. After a warmonger's turn. So for me, those are unlikely situations.
Yeah.
They can still happen, and then they're in your deck, and they're going to happen. But I felt a little bit unlucky in those two games. The first game was just nothing crazy happened on your end, nothing crazy happened on my end. But you were doing so much value on your 4-card hands for me not to ignore it. And that's what people are talking about. That if a Fai gets that turn 0, turn 1, turn 2, what Warmonger's Diplomacy into their arsenal, can they put on enough pressure with 4-card hands to force the Boltyn player to take that damage and then not survive the Art of a Warmonger's turn? And that game proved that Fai can do that. I was thinking they can't because based on my few games experience, it's never bothered me too much. But the damage output you did was quite good on those.
I think Fai can do it. I do think it's really dependent on consistency because I have to put on pressure not for 1 or 2 turns. It's not just a 1 or 2 big burst turn. Those can win me the game, but most of the time that won't be my game plan. I need to have damage pressure each turn. That every time you want to put a card into soul, it's going to cost you a lot of life. And I want to be at the point where after you have got your soul up, I'm still putting on so much pressure that if you want to do your combo, you need to get it early because you're leaking damage.
Yeah. I mean,
and I think on the luck side, I think the second game, it was lucky and unlucky at the same time. So I drew Warmongers in the turn I needed it most. And I was really lucky for that. Other side, it was the first Warmongers, and I was halfway through my deck. Okay. So I was waiting on it, right? Okay. I still was lucky. Like in that situation, I think otherwise you would have won definitely. And then the third game, I actually thought you were doing really well. I think the start of the game, I didn't get anything off the ground. My damage wasn't sticking. You had your setup really quickly. A lot of soul build up early. And then at some point, I just had a Warmonger's Art of War in hand, and I had to block the CNC. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to Warmonger's Arsenal the Art of War and just pray that I get a good hand.
Yep.
And there I was really lucky to get the good hand. Of course, that's something I played around, but I think most of the time my hand wouldn't be good enough, and you would have definitely beaten me the third time. So I think the second one, it was unlucky at that moment. It was unlucky for me that I haven't found it earlier.
Yeah.
But that was a bit 50-50. The third one, I think you should have definitely won, and you just got really unlucky, and I got really lucky at the same time.
Okay, let's do one more game just so people can see a bit of gameplay. And yeah, okay. You ready to go?
Yeah, sure. Let's go. Okay.
Fourth game today. Sorry, Sander.
No, that's all right. That's all right. It's also practice for me, so. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I was ready to go, but I got kicked out.
Don't you just send you?
Yeah, if you send me a new link, I'll click on that.
Okay, I have to leave then as well. Tally shard. Nope, not that one. Okay, I'm going to send it to your WhatsApp. WhatsApp is gone. I'm going to send it into this Google Meets chat.
Is it okay?
There it is. First or second, I still don't know. I'll go with what's been working for me in the past, which is first. CNCs have been working really well for me. I'll use those to block. Okay. Hopefully I can get 1 out of 4. 1 win in the 4 games. Is that correct? That's correct. Yeah. Okay. Game 4. Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna have that there. Okay, this is pretty good. So you put you under. Yeah, I want all of you. I want all of you. It's a bit aggressive, this hand, but I think, yeah, let's do it. Nice. And end with you.
This is not the best start.
This is what I like to see.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'm a little bit too lax in my life, using my life here, especially so early in the game. I probably should have blocked a little bit more.
Yeah, really. This is a bit of a weird situation. This is maybe I want to block this because I don't think you want to use your snaps or your soul.
No, this has go again. It's got quicken token, so it's got to go again no matter what.
Oh no, pass.
Block it.
I'll let it in. I thought you made a quicken, or did you do both?
It had a quicken, and then I made a quicken.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's why I was confused. That's okay.
This has also got go again. This has got quicken on it.
That's okay. Yeah, cool. Cool.
So CNC really gives me as a Boltyn player some breathing space. He doesn't care about it. That's fine. Okay. Warmongers. Yeah. Why wouldn't he have it when he's had it?
Jeez, Bradley.
Yeah.
Slow down. You're playing combo. You're not playing Raiden.
Love to see it.
Oh.
Oh, goodies.
What the
Okay, I guess we're just doing this. Leaking a bit of Damaggio. Yeah, of course you're going to crack the mask. You got +2 here. We just try and avoid as much damage as possible. And then it's 2 plus 3. Oh, we got double Art of War. Plus this is 7 or 8.
Yeah, the Art of War made up for all the blues I drew. Yeah. I only drew blue and yellow of the Art of Wars. Oh well. The fact that they were Art of Wars already made it good enough.
Rising Resentment. Let me think here. 2. I don't know. Like, I'm so wary now of waiting. I think I don't know if I. Yeah, it's a little bit. It's a little bit weird. think for a second. Okay, so I can do this into this, into that, into that, into that, into that. So I can do things. But it puts me down to 2. Jeez, it's tough. Or save this for sneaky. Okay, let's take it. I don't think I have another option. Sure, I'll block 1. Draw a card.
Oh my god, this worries me.
No,
this
the
might
thing
be
is,
it, Bradley.
it's not great because I just don't know what to do now. Like, my soul is so low. Definitely, it always starts with this.
But your soul isn't really that low, right? You have 3 soul. That's more than enough.
Yeah, but you don't know my hand.
Oh, that's fair enough.
And I know if I don't do something soon.
I think if it's 1 turn extra, I think I'm gonna do really well. Because then we get into the lethal range.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's the thing. So I could have maybe blocked out a bit that turn. Then you had a 5-card hand against what, maybe 20 life. Maybe I should have done that. That's probably the smarter move. But then if I didn't draw into anything, I'm just gonna try this because I don't know what else to do. I still got the soul to go through it. Okay, so this is what I needed you to do to not block, so I get 1 soul back for certain. This is like sink below, which could be.
Yeah, I think I just shouldn't be over blocking this, I think. Maybe I should have, but don't think so.
So that was risky what I did there. I could have got Lumina from my Express Lightning, but that would have left me with 2 soul. Which would have been quite easy to block out, I think. Here I have 2 soul.
Sorry? I think this should be it, right? I think you got it. Because you have 5 attacks, right?
I have 5 attacks, 4 attacks after this.
Yeah.
2 in soul though. So if you can, well, you need 3 cards, 2 cards and armor to block this first one, and then the second one will come in for more damage. So maybe, I don't know, maybe you can get away with it. Well, I finally got a double Lumina turn in these 4 games.
I think no matter how I put it, I think you'll get it. Because I can't block both out.
Okay, yeah. If you can't block both that, then I win. I think.
And I think that's quite likely that I can't block both out. Unless if I have like a Warmonger, so that I could do Warmonger Stagger Stripe to block 5.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
But blocking with the text is just so
Yeah, blocking it.
hurtful.
Yeah, it gives you +2, and the +1 stays for the rest of the turn as well, which is awesome. Oof. So I miss 1 point of damage and 2 soul potentially with my plan there, but I think it was worth it. Otherwise, it would have been an easy block out for him.
This is the last one from this sword, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So now his life is so low, we have options in terms of he's got to block things out. And we could just take damage here. Blaze short. Then we do this. Spirit of Arena.
I have no clue.
Arena.
This is gonna be rough.
Yeah. You don't play D-Rex, right? So
no, I do not. No. Jeez. There you go.
Yeah. Then I get Celestial for the 7 plus Bolt of Karshan. So that's how it's meant to go. Even that was a bit risky for me when I went off, because if you'd blocked the first Saber, my goal with that first Saber single Lumina was to sort of say, I'm not a threat, you don't need to block it, which worked, and then I could beacon.
Yeah, but it's also, if I block that out,
yeah,
I need to use so many cards to already block it out, and then you can still, even if you don't go over it, just finding the Lumina, and you still would have had a soul left. I still had to hit or block the other one as well. I had to block both. And I'm not sure if I was able to combining it with the what's it called? The attack reaction. Because it came in for 4?
It came in for 4. Yeah, it came in for 4. So
and if I block with an attack and I had only attacks on hand, it goes up to 6.
Yep.
So I had to block it for 7 to deny you the extra soul.
Yes, that's 2 cards and your armor. So if you do 2 cards,
maybe I could have now I think about it, because I had 2-3 blocks and furnace, that's 7.
Yeah.
Then you go buff it for 1. No, you could have buffed it for 2. Then you get a new soul back. But it costs you 2 soul.
No, I couldn't. So I had 2 soul. No, I had 3 soul, right? So, oh yeah, 3
you have 3 soul. So you need to give it go again.
Yeah.
And you need. Oh, actually, I could have blocked it out. Yeah, that would have been good.
Yeah,
because then I block out the next one. You can still give that one go again, and then you hit with your 3rd saber, but you can't give it go again.
Correct. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think I miscounted there, because I thought about the attack reaction. I was just like, it's probably gonna hit anyway, without too much trouble. But now I think about it, I could have just blocked 2-3 blocks and +1 equipment.
Yeah. Yeah. I think. Yeah. If I double illuminated, you could have blocked out both of them. I think you go three block plus flame scale, which would have been 7. And then the second one I attack with, maybe you couldn't have blocked that one then, if you had any two blocks in your hand.
Which one, sorry?
The second attack. So if I didn't play that mind game of beaconing later, and I just beaconed for the first attack, and then I played 2 Luminous straight away, could you have blocked out those 2 fully? Because if you
then they come in for 5, and I need to block 2, right?
They come in for 2.
I couldn't, no.
Okay, so then maybe I should have just done that to play it safer.
Yeah, I think this way I could have blocked it out. But if you would have beaconed on just the normal charge attack, then I wouldn't have been able to.
Because you could, yeah. So if you had any 2 blocks in hand, 2, 5, 6, 7. If you had 3 blocks, you could have blocked it out. If you had 2 3 blocks and 2 blocks, then maybe I should just relied on that instead of.
But I also run things like Art of War, Phoenix Flame, so I could have also had a non-block.
Yeah. Maybe I should have just done that, and I think I got lucky.
And I could have had. Okay, that's the thing. If I had a Warmongers, a non-attack, I could have Warmongers and the Gloves for 5.
Yeah,
which would have been fine as well.
Would have been painful. Well, anyways, in terms of those games, I still don't feel like I used to think that Sabers was the way to go, but now I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah. So I think that you saw it in this game as well. I made a mistake. I could have blocked it out. I've done this before. The PTI event after the Battle Hardened, I wasn't really being too serious about the event, but I was just doing the games because I bought a ticket anyway.
Yeah.
And I played it to Boltyn as well. And I remember he was at like a really low soul count. And he attacks me with the combo, but his soul count was really low. Yeah. And I look at like, maybe I can block this out. And I calculate with my armor, and I'm like, oh, I'm 1 short. And I say no blocks. And I literally end my sentence with no blocks. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Because I just realized I miscounted on my block. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I realized I could block it out. And he was like, nah, you already said no blocks. I'm like, oh, you know what? You're right. Just have it, you know. Yeah. And then he snowballed out of it and won the game. And I was just looking at it. I was like, I could have blocked it out. And I think the good thing about Sabers is that the Fai opponent can make mistakes. And even now I've done, so this is our 4th game.
Yep.
And this is the game I make the mistake in. So even while I'm fully aware of what's happening, you here and there, you just do a small miscount. I'm not sure if this would happen to me personally on like a bigger tournament that I'm really invested in, but it is something that can happen. I think that's something that happens into a lot of fights that don't know Boltyn too much. That definitely wins you games. I'm not sure if that's something you want to approach and take into account. But
not really, no. Like I said in our last week, we're talking about top table games, right? So what Boltyn goes, what armor, what equipment do I show in a top 8 game in, say, in a Calling or a Battle Hardened, something like that. And if I'm against you, right, and I'm thinking before today, I would have brought in Sabers without a shadow of doubt. I would have brought in Sabers. Now I'm starting to think that Raiden maybe isn't that bad, especially with the other results going on from other 5 players. So the other the Flame Dog player, he went to the Battle Hardened Cincinnati. I think he came 14th. His buddy came 9th, and that's when the other player, Roger Bodie, came 2nd. They were playing quite different decks, but between him and his friend, Flame Dog and his friend, they were like 7-0 to Fai on Raiden, and they were both in the top tables. So there must be a trick I'm missing into why I can't do that. But when I play Sabers, I feel like the win is easier. Maybe that's why I feel like it's better. So when I do win, I feel like I've won. Like I have it ready. He doesn't have Warmongers. I win. So there's that turning point of a win or a loss, like on that thin edge. Whereas with Raiden against Emberblade, there are multiple turns where you could have done something a little bit different that might have done 2 more points of damage or prevented 2 more points of damage, which in the closest of those games could be the deciding factor.
Mm-hmm.
And if you manage to get 1 Warmongers in the first 3 turns, I'm in trouble. If you draw it in your hand, and I can put on a bit of pressure, okay, fine. But I'm never going to put on that much pressure as a Sabers player, unless it's the combo turn. So I don't know. I think combo still has a very good spot. Is required for Boltyn. So if you go into Katsu, for example, maybe Dash IO. Who else are we looking at? I think the other the Max Dash. I think combo is also good into Max Dash. Not Max Dash, just Max Mechanologist. Because he goes for that one big turn where he gets his thing out, his mech out, and he gets action points and does his thing. So I think the Sabers can take him down relatively turn 5, turn 6, which is good enough, and his blocking is horrible. Teklovossen is a different beast. But against Dash IO, I can play Raiden and Fatigue Dash IO. Against Katsu, I just don't know how to beat Katsu on Raiden, and even with Sabers, it's even more difficult, I would say, against Katsu than it is Fai, because of all the on-hits that you can't ignore.
I think if you play into Katsu, the turns that you're blocking, I think you block. It's weird because I have attack reaction stuff, right? But still, I think you block easier than that you block into Fai. Because I think Katsu has a lot of hands that he actually wants to block with, that are just not good enough, or that he really needs to hit to make his hand good enough. And Fai doesn't really have that. He can go gas each turn without too much trouble. So I think Katsu should be a good thing with Sabers. I would think Sabers is actually quite favored into Katsu. I'm not sure, but I would expect that to be the case.
I think Sabers is better than Raiden into Katsu, but in terms of the win percentage, I would say, based on what I've spoken to people about and my experience as well, and I'll just put it out there. I'm not a Sabers player. I don't know the lines and whatnot. I just know if I have 2 Luminas and 3 in Soul, 4 in Soul, it's time to go. That's sort of all I know. And from the conversations I've had, Katsu is more difficult than Fai. Fai, as you say, is just damage. So if we just take damage and we're on 1 life, we can win. Katsu, we can't take the damage because they could. I mean, yeah, okay, so they might not get their surging strikes. If they don't get the surging strikes, we're pretty good. If they get the surging strikes, the 3 reds, 3 yellows, head, whatever it's called, not head jab, move like water, that can become a surging strike that ends at dishonor. We lose the game. And they can do a lot of damage. If you say no blocks, they can do 30 plus damage without that combo, without ending with a dishonor. You let them hit.
Yeah, but I think they have a lot of hands that don't do that, and I think Fai his floor is a lot higher than Katsu's.
Yeah,
and therefore, if you're trying to get the combo off, you might just the chance of you catching a Katsu on a meh hand is there.
Okay.
I think I do see what you mean with like his 30 plus damage turns, right? But that's the same thing that happened with the double Art of War, and those things happen. But I think consistently wise, I think Katsu is lacking that.
Okay.
But I might be wrong. I'm not. I've played a bit of Katsu, but I'm not a big Katsu player. Especially, I don't think I've ever played it matchup into Boltyn. So I don't want to say that those are facts, but that's the feeling I had with it.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, I need to play more. So, again, my ninja matchups is horrible. So, whether it's Sabers, whether it's Raiden, my ability to figure out these blocks and understand what's in their hand, or what could potentially be in their hand, I just don't. I just can't do it. Fai, I have a bit more because I play. There's more. I think Fai is more played than Katsu in the bigger tournaments. But you have seen Katsu doing well at Worlds and at other tournaments. So there is something to Katsu that can be done to mitigate some of the the inconsistencies. But regardless, I am still confused. I'm more confused now than I was before about bringing in the hybrid Sabers package. Um, I think it's needed, and I think if I want to, uh, maybe against a good Fire and Raiden, me personally, I can't win, but with Sabers, I can win. There's going to be that shot for me to win, because my cards will align, your cards won't align, and it just takes that one turn for that alignment to happen.
Yeah.
So that's sort of what I'm leaning towards, but who knows? Who knows? I'll pick some more brains from the Boltyn groups, see what they say, see what the discussion is. I think the discussion is Raiden into Fai at the moment, or it's still mixed. I don't know. I think it's hard to say, but Boltyn Sabers goes into the ones I mentioned: Katsu, Dash IO, Brutes. I think is still Raiden. Because they don't block.
I think you raise them quicker than they raise you.
I think yeah, it is there, and they don't block too well. They got a lot of attack actions, especially Leviah, a lot of attack actions. And if you get Leviah down to a certain life point that they have to block, it's pretty good. And again, it's just damage. There's no real on hits from them unless they pack in some CNCs, which is not too much of a worry. It's just Scowling Flashback, which is kind of annoying. But it's not the end of the world. Yeah, cool. Okay, so end result, 1 victory for me, 3 victories for Sander. I think maybe I could have pulled 2 out of those 4 games. 2 of them, I think I as you say, you were unlucky to get the Warmonger so late, but lucky to get it in that turn. So I'm not going to count that as a lucky win for me then. A lucky win for you in that case. That's what we got.
I think the funny thing is that the results are surprisingly similar to last week. I think it's both 50-50-ish.
Yeah.
In our and not in the results and not in what it's kind of what I expected. V2 playing, I think 50-50-ish, maybe a bit 5 favorite, and I think that counts for Raiden and that counts for Saber.
Cool.
But that's my feeling on it. I'm not sure if that's fair or not. But.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, like we spoke about, it's our own personal experiences and who we've played in the last 6 months or so. People like you say, against Bravo, you've done very well with Fai. Other Fai players haven't done so well. It doesn't mean Fai's favored or unfavored. It's the style that you know how to play, that type of thing.
But the same you have with Dromai, right?
Which I have with Dromai. Whenever I say that, I get on Talish and I lose to a Dromai, so I don't know if it's true. But then when I stop thinking about it, I start to beat up on Dromais. So I just need to stop thinking about things, and that's it. Cool. Thanks, Sander. Thanks again for your time. Thank you for the games. Apologies that I couldn't. I don't know what happened with the first 3 recordings.
That's all right.
But it is. I
do understand you want your wins on your channel. I do understand. It's a bit harsh to do it like this, but okay.
And any way that I can. No, it very very clearly, guys. He beat me fair and square the first 3 games. I wish I could show them because they might be useful for other Boltyn players to watch and learn and dissect and say you shouldn't have done that. You should have blocked here. You should have done this and that. I'm glad I took out Soul Shields towards the end because those were just clunking up my hands. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm gonna again, as this link comes out, I'll send it to you, Sander, and I'll share.
Thanks for the games.
Cheers, man. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you around. Take care.
Same to you.
Bye. Very, very frustrating to lose those 3 games, especially after saying the things I said that I thought this was a chance for me to turn around, and I think other Boltyn players on Sabers have had good success with Sabers. Against Fai, and it might just be we go back to player skill level, and it might just be my skill level as a Sabers player, as someone who is not very good into Ninja, as I've explained multiple times. Could be that. So I don't think these 2 series, these last week and this week, are actually going to help much. Well, for me, I've just become more confused. I don't know what you guys are going to think about it. Um, but at least the dangers of playing Fai on Sabers is now become apparent to me. They can warmongers in their arsenal and still keep the damage going. Um, and if they do get their out of war turns in time, we're put under a lot of pressure. Whereas for Raiden, the hand to hands, we don't need. There's not a single hand we need to keep, or a single turn that will be turned off by a CNC or a warmongers type of thing. So yeah, that's it. A little bit frustrated, but I'd rather learn this now than go into a tournament and show up and feel super confident with a Sabers deck, um, not fully realizing the dangers involved in playing as Fai. Again, thank you, Sander. He's already gone, but thanks for joining, Sander. It's always a pleasure to play with him. Very nice guy, very well thought in what he does in terms of playing and reasoning. So always good to take a lesson from him. Until next time.